Hi everybody, Chef Adrian here, and I'm so happy to be with you tonight because we are getting a little bit more serious about things in our world, as you know. And we're affected by the virus issue just like everybody else, and we're having major events and trade shows canceled where we have opportunities to earn income but can't now. And we know that so many people are affected by, right now, the circumstances that are around us. However, one thing that we always have to do is we still have to eat every day, and people are having to deal with long lines at the store, running out of key products at the store. And so we're going to talk tonight about really simple ways to make an instant pizza for tonight. Now, during the course of this live, I want you to ask questions, because this is going all over the country, wherever it goes, that during the live you can ask questions and ask me stuff you have on hand, because that's what I specialize in, doing substitutions or dealing with limited ingredients on hand, or how to make really, really good food with very limited ingredients. So tonight we're going to do instant pizza, okay? So please chime in anytime. Jen, my wife, is on the phone doing the recording. And as I'm going over, please ask questions that are pertinent to your situation right now, because we want to be able to help you with whatever issue you're dealing with in trying to feed your family. So again, my name is Adrian Alvey. My company is Save the Day Seasonings. Part of what I'll be talking about tonight is how the seasonings help us to be able to make everything super easy, super tasty, and super healthy. And especially right now, it's just so important that easy is on the menu. So a couple of ways tonight to make a really, really easy pizza, okay? Now, a lot of our tips and techniques have nothing to do with the seasonings, but all talking about how you're gonna just work with what you have right now, whether you have the seasonings or not, to make something work really well for your family. So there's a couple of dough options. First of all, you can do the frozen bread dough, frozen roll dough, something like that, where these are frozen and you just bring them out and they thaw. And then quite typically, we like to do two, where we'll just squeeze them together. And guys, I'll wash my hands really good here. And I'm just gonna coat that in a little bit of flour and then squeeze those out, pull those out on the sides. And guys, this is a really, really good, we had this tonight for dinner. I'm doing it again, we liked it so much and it's so easy to make really good pizza. And I'm gonna show you about sauce, toppings, flavorings, and all kinds of stuff that just really, really simple. So if you like a thicker crust, make them bigger. Make them smaller and thicker, or you can make those whatever size is comfortable for you. But a couple at a time makes it about that size. You can do more or less if you want to. So that's one way you can do the dough. The other way is if you have you don't have frozen dough, you're there's no way I'm going to the store today. And guys, what we're dealing with right now is not a super short-term issue. So we know we're gonna have to have some weeks. And for us, our biggest expo here, Expo Center in Idaho, canceled all events at least through April. And that was before we had any reported issues with the virus here. And so our major shows are getting canceled. And so some people don't have the resources because now their income is cut short. How do we still take care of the needs of our family? Well, a lot of people have stuff on hand. They just don't know what to do with it. So if you have flour on hand and you have some baking powder on hand and a little oil or shortening or butter, you can make pizza dough from scratch and have it right away, okay? So this right here we have, and guys, in the comments later, we're gonna add the recipes for this. So if you wanna take care of something real quick tonight, it's right there for you. 2 1/4 cups flour in here, a tablespoon of baking powder. Okay, baking powder helps things to rise, not the baking soda. That does some different stuff. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt. That's what we have in here, and I've just mixed it up, and it's just well blended. We're also gonna add 1 cup of water in there, okay? And then a 1/4 cup of oil. Now you can also use butter, and you can also use shortening, but the shortening has to be able to blend. So it has to be melted enough so that it can blend with the rest here. Now, one thing we really like to do here, as you can see, that's just mixing it right up. And if you have a stand mixer, you can throw this on with the hook on there. Just throw it there with the hook attachment. Make your bread dough, just put it in there, forget it for about 30 seconds to 2 minutes, anywhere in there. And this is a situation where if it was a yeast dough, it would be more critical for you to really make sure it's kneaded well and combined. With a non-yeast dough, you don't have to worry about it making sure it's kneaded out super, super well. And so once it's mixed nicely, and basically you're looking for kind of a smooth texture, just something that's not all clumpy and bumpy, and you can see that's really nice right there. We have an Italian seasoning. This is great you can add it right to the dough. It adds a nice flavor to it. we just have a regular pasta sauce here that we're going to add. And if you want to know more about how to make a great pasta sauce with just the Italian seasoning, and you can have tomatoes on hand, tomato sauce, diced tomatoes, canned tomatoes, whatever you want. And I can show you how to make a super easy pasta sauce or pizza sauce just with those ingredients and the Italian seasoning. And so if you want to know more about that, we can do another tutorial on that. But if you want, you can add a little bit of this flavor right to the dough. And that's maybe a half a teaspoon or so. You could add up to a teaspoon to a couple teaspoons in the dough, depending on how much flavor you want that Italian blend to add there. Mix it in. And now I'm going to show you here, I'm going to move this for a second so we can use the same. I'm going to add a little bit of flour there. Now, with the bread dough here, I did spray that a little bit. Now, you don't have to spray. You can use a cookie sheet. You don't have to use the stoneware or anything like that. And you don't have to spray it, but if you don't spray it, it will stick maybe a little bit more. Use a spatula to get it off, and it's not a huge deal. So this, you put right there. There's a couple ways you can do this. Now, if you want to make one pizza, just roll that thing out. You can use a rolling pin, or you can do a couple pizzas. You can do some smaller ones and do them different kinds of ways. And
I used the rolling pin tonight, so it's probably
that's okay. I'm
rinsed
going
out
to
there.
just take a little look at there while I grab our rolling pin.
You can see the seasonings in there a little bit.
Okay, and so it's pretty moist dough, and so I'm going to add flour. And as I roll that out, I should have that on some sort of rubber or something like that mat. I'm going to need to put something under that so it doesn't move super easily. Maybe that will work. We'll see. Now you can see I put a towel underneath to reduce the friction there. You might be counterintuitive. You think a towel might make it a little bit more slippery. In this case, it doesn't. So you can see you got a whole pizza here. Nice whole pizza. If you go a little over on the sides, then you can make the little edge or the crust or whatever you want. So you can do it a bit like that.
So no need to sit or rise it all, right?
No, it's ready to go. And so when you bake that, the baking powder in there will get it to rise. And here I'm just going to put some regular store-bought sauce here, because that's a super easy. But regardless of your store-bought sauce, however much you like it or don't like it, you can always enhance it with the Italian seasoning. Now, our Italian seasoning is not just a regular Italian seasoning. You can really use that blend. It has all the flavors in the jar that you would need to make a pasta sauce. All you need is a regular tomato sauce. But it also works really, really well with other sauces. But you can just put a little bit right on top there if you want to. And
even if I bought a frozen pizza, I'll sprinkle that on there just to jazz up the flavors, because it really gives it some pop of flavor.
We'll put some cheese here. And then the rest is whatever you want to put on it. If you have some vegetables, throw some vegetables, some mushrooms, some onions, some whatever you want on there.
I think it's a great way if you've got a hodgepodge of stuff in the fridge to kind of use it up.
And so here's some pepperonis. So we're going to do pepperoni pizza.
What if you don't have a lot of cheese?
If you don't have a lot of cheese, I mean, you know what? Or if you're vegan, there's options that are available. I'll have to get some more pepperoni. You get how that goes. The nutritional yeast, I had that out to show. This is it's a product that's available, and that no store is going to be out of this if they stock it. Winco, you can buy this
in the
bulk section. You can also buy it at most stores. It's similar to a Parmesan cheese type of a substitute, where you can put it on top of your pizza, you can put it on top of your pasta. It's a little different flavor. It has sort of a yeast flavor to it, but it adds a lot of nutrition, which is what is really, really good about it, without changing the flavor too much, but also gives a little bit of that Parmesan cheese. There's a lot of great vegan cheeses out there available, so if you can't get regular cheese or they're out of stock, you can take a look at the really good vegan cheeses that are out there nowadays. They're not really like they used to be, they don't melt, they don't taste right. They're almost indistinguishable from regular cheese now. A lot of them really good, really natural too.
Or I think even if you use like a cream sauce versus a marinara sauce, you could do some veggies on top and get away even without having a lot of cheese, and it's still pretty good.
You could. So that's just an option. Now, if you want to do just like you could roll this out, you can spread oil on it, and you could sprinkle Italian seasoning and even some Parmesan cheese or nutritional yeast, and you can just bake that like that, and you can cut it for breadsticks. Or
breadsticks.
Flatbread sort of a thing that you can have as a side. That's a really good thing. Now, there are a number of things that you can do with just flour and salt and water, and that make really good recipes. So if you have a desire, put something in the comments. Let me know, because I'll be doing more of these so that people can understand that there are really simple ways to take care of some of the issues that we're having to deal with right now on a larger scale. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And if you are interested in the seasonings, you can always go to SaveTheDaySeasonings.com, or if you have a kitchen consultant that you're working with, we're a direct sales company. And so a real great work from our kitchen consultants work from home. So we're not affected that way. So you can get a hold of our kitchen consultants or us or me directly if you're looking for more. And we always have specials and coupons and stuff like that. So again, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again next time. Again, looking for any ideas you guys would have or want to know more about on how to use stuff you have just sitting around the house.